As you look at the plants and just how wonderful they are, and the animals and the insects and everything, the birds, everything is interconnected. Creation can't be so perfect with a God that doesn't love us. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Really happy to have you here. Thank you for signing in. Thank you for tuning in as well. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe if you like my content, of course, and be sure to turn on your bell notification so you're made aware of all the very exciting topics that I share every week. I love to share good topics, so yes, support my vlog please. I'm very new to this and I am trying to stay consistent. It's not easy with vlogging to stay consistent, but every week I try to put out at least a video for you to enjoy and for you to learn, and hopefully there are things I've learned along the way. I am still learning, and so I would love for your comments to tell me what you want me to share more, what you think I'm doing differently, or you want me to change something that I'm not doing quite right. Please let me know in the comment section. So guys, I just really want to share with you today a wonderful topic, but before I go into that topic I need to introduce myself. My name is Carina darling. I'm a wellness vlogger and blogger. I love to talk about holistic wellness, so life, how we do life stress-free. My focus is on millennials who live in capital cities across the world and also have side businesses, helping them navigate life stress-free. So going into the topic today, I am really excited to share this with you. It's going to be a very quick one, but one that I think is very powerful and definitely very important in this time. Does God love you? Does God love me? Am I loved by God? These are all the different questions posed in various ways. And I'm really excited to share this topic with you and also discuss it. It's a discussion because my concept of it is not the gospel truth and it's not the only truth. So it's open to interpretation. It's open to what people believe. However, the Bible is a good source. I like to go to the Bible because that is the truth. The truth of the Bible is consistent and will never change. So I like to go to that rather than rely on what I tell myself. I like my truth to come from what is unchanging. I change. My moods change. I behave every day from an hour to the next varies. You can ask my husband, he will tell you, or even my cat. She definitely knows that I change. So yes, we are human beings and so our emotions and feelings vary. But there's a book as a Christian I rely on, and that book never alters, it never changes, and that's the Holy Bible. Going back to the question, does God care about us, is a very important question to ask. And a lot of times people who ask these questions are in their soul searching place. They are wondering, if God cares about us, why are there so many hardships in the world? Because that's where that question comes from. I don't think that question comes from a place of just saying, oh, does God care about us? I don't think it comes from nothing. It comes from a deeper disappointment of maybe your personal situation or even what is happening in the wider society that you live in or the world. So most times that question stems from a place of doubt. Is it true that he cares for us? If he does, why is there so many natural disasters? Why do we have so much wars? Why do we have so much killing? Why do we have so much poverty? What do you think are the reasons for these things? When I read the Bible, even the people in the Bible went through poverty, they went through natural disasters, they went through personal pain and struggles. The question is not whether God cares about those wider things, because he does. Sometimes that deeper question is, why can't I experience him? And that's exciting. That's really interesting to ask. Why can't I experience this God? And where does that come from? Is that belief that whoever is God, a being above us, should be all good, all knowing, of course, all beautiful. And why are we suffering? Why do we have all this pain in our personal lives? Why do we have all of these issues in the world? Some of these questions I don't know. These are very big questions. But if you allow me today, maybe we can explore it a little bit together, because I asked those questions as well. I'll tell you my story. So I grew up in a Christian home. My parents are fervent Christians and actually very much involved in the church I grew up in. So as a child, everything I knew was church. Going to church, doing Bible study, everything came from a place of reading the Bible, having a relationship with God and with our community. And then I came to the UK when I was in my teenage years. Still carried on going to church because I come from a home where my father is a very strict person. You have to go to church. And so as a teenager growing up in the UK, I still went to church. So the church I grew up, I was born in, happened to also be in London and various parts of the UK. So I had to attend church every week. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So lovely to have you here today. My name is Carina darling. I'm the face behind this brand. I'm a vlogger and blogger, and I love to talk about everything holistic wellness. And my focus is on millennials who live in capital cities across the world and also have side businesses, helping them navigate life stress-free. So today I was talking on the topic of, does God really care? Does God love me? Does God care for us? And it's a very important question, and a lot of times it comes from a deeper place of disappointment, resentment, anger, frustration, and all those are emotions that are understandable. Rather than going to personal circumstances in my life, as a Christian, I like to look at what the scripture says. And like I was saying to you, I come from a very strong Christian home, and my parents were quite active in my church growing up. And so when I came to the UK, my dad carried on in that way of telling me that I need to go to church. And so I just carried on going to church. I didn't do it just for my dad. I also did it because I actually loved being at church. I loved to have a relationship with God. I remember as a young person, I always asked questions of, is there a God? And if there is a God, why is this? Why are there pain? Why are there struggles? Why are there challenges? But I always knew there was a God because as a little child as well, I remember at the age of 7, I looked up in the sky and I saw how beautiful the sky was. I looked around and the trees and how green they were, and I just saw the perfection in creation. And instantly at that very moment, I believed that there's a God. I just knew. Something in my little child heart just knew there's a God, because I could not understand how there couldn't be a God with all the great things that I could see. Creation was perfect. Of course there's a God. And then growing up as a teenager and an adult, looking back at the struggles that people have had over the years, people very close to me, I personally have had, and a lot of times it has come from a place of disappointment where we'd end up asking, does God really care? The question is, have I ever asked that question myself? Yes, I have. And I've asked it at times when I'm in very desperate situation. Does God really care about me? It's not asking the question that is the problem. It's what we do with that question. Do we ask that question and then that pulls us away from God? Because actually when we look at the disappointment in life and the brokenness of life, it's not God who has brought those pain and struggles. It's actually us as human beings. Human beings are wicked. Human beings, including myself, are hard and mean and horrible. And actually God helps us, if anything, to become nicer and softer and better. What is it in us that makes us want to be better people? I believe it's the presence of God in us that makes us want to be better people. So when we ask those questions, does God care for us? I would encourage you to look at creation and see if you see anything else than beauty and love and care and understanding and wanting to have a relationship. Because I see God as a God that wants to have a relationship with us. When you look at the connectivity of creation and how everything intertwines and how everything is connected. Like I look at my cat, how much she wants to be loved. And times when I haven't given her a lot of attention, she comes and she wants to rub off of me, for me to play with her, touch her, cuddle her. And as humans as well, kids do the same thing. They come to their mommy and daddy to give them a hug and carry them and kiss them. The same as adults, we want our loved ones, our husbands, our partners to show us love and acceptance. Relationships end because someone says, he doesn't love me enough, he doesn't treat me the way I should be treated. Because we know what is good, we know how to treat others, we know what love is. And so it makes me draw strength from that and seeing the connectivity that all of creation has. You look at the plants and just how wonderful they are, are, and the animals and the insects and everything, the birds, everything is interconnected. Creation can't be so perfect with a God that doesn't love us. Why would he provide all of these wonderful things for us to enjoy? Creation is for the enjoyment of human beings, the creatures. We enjoy all of these things. We go to the beach to swim and enjoy and relax. We go to the park to spend time in the greenery. We have the animals in our houses that we spend time with. Why would a God who makes all of these things happen not care? At least that's my question to those who ask that question. All the times when I ask that question from my pain, that's also the question I pose back to myself. I really hope this video has encouraged you in some way, and if you do want us to dig deep and get to know more about faith, and if you're new to Christianity or you're exploring Christianity, I would really encourage you to do the course called Alpha. Alpha is run across different parts of the world and different churches organize it. It's a very informal space for people who have questions about Christianity, who want to know, is there a God? What is life after death? Is there one? Those big questions of life. Alpha is a very informal place to do that, and it's aimed at people who are asking those questions. It's aimed at the atheists, agnostics, and people with different beliefs and different understanding. That's okay. Everyone is welcome. And so all that I encourage you to do is to look around you, where you live, where you go to work, and I would encourage you to go and explore Christianity and explore getting to know more about the faith. And I believe that you will encounter the same God that I have encountered, that has made me stay in my faith. So you may ask me, oh, but your parents made you go to church. Actually, they did up to a certain stage, and then when I was an adult, I made my own decision to follow God. It was no longer my parents who tell me to pray. It was no longer my parents who told me, oh, you need to read your Bible. I sought God on my own. I asked the same questions that you're asking now, and I got my own answers in the way that I could understand. And I believe that if God could help someone like me understand him in such a personal way, and since then I've had this deep relationship for him and with him that I am so passionate to share it with you today. There's nothing special about me. He wants to do the same with you. So I encourage you today to explore, get to know more about Christianity, get to know more about the God of the Bible. I would encourage you not to just look at people who say they are Christians, because that sometimes people say they are Christians and we don't live the lives that are expected of us. We're all broken. Even me, I will disappoint you. If you lived with me, you will see, and probably certain acts, you would agree that maybe I am not a Christian, because I'm only human and I'm broken, and I can only do as much as I can do. And every day I beg to God to help me and help me to grow and develop and become better. But the God of the Bible, the person of Jesus, he never disappoints. The Holy Spirit lives with you and me. They never disappoint. So they are the ones you should focus your attention on. And by reading the Bible, you're learning more about them. And as you pray and spend time with God, you're building a relationship with him. He never disappoints. And that is the person I want you to go to. Not everyone else, not the noise around you and everyone that professes to be Christian. And that's okay, because there are wonderful Christians out there. I wouldn't be doing Christianity without a great support network of Christians that I have in my life. It's incredible how my network of Christian friends have supported me through pain, struggle, anguish, suffering, times of joy. But all I'm saying is, don't only depend on the people. Make sure you build your relationship with God and that you know him for who he is. So on that note, guys, I just want to bless you today and say God bless you, and look after yourself and know that you are loved. Until next time, bye guys.